Welcome back to Callahan's Corner, where you ask the questions. We answer them live right here on Facebook. So I've got another pre-submitted question from this evening. And General wants to know specifically to service Autopilot. I'm going to read it right here from my phone. That after master package jobs are master package jobs used for landscaping companies that do not do fertilizing. We do landscape installs and maintenance. We service condos. What can we use master packages for? Well, this gentleman hit it right on the head. Originally, out of the gate, you think absolutely you're going to use this for fertilization. But as an industry expert who's scaled a seven-figure business and built a team around SimpleGrowth, we've got several people on the SimpleGrowth team that have not only explored the features and functions of Service Autopilot, but we've taken those features and functions and built workflow. And one of those areas is master packages. So I'm going to kind of demystify master packages and give you not the features and functions around master packages, but how to execute a workflow inside your business, whether you're seven figures in sales, well beyond seven figures, or before the seven-figure mark, and you want to scale into that. And after using Service Autopilot for 8 or 9 years in my seven-figure plus business, we figured out in the trenches how a service business can use master packages to go out and benefit from them. And not only from a estimating standpoint with some benefits that most people are unaware of, but how to actually go out and route for efficiency and profits being able to use master packages. So before we dive into that, we really want to talk about what is a master package and the different types of services you can actually schedule in your service business. So if you're joining me live right here on Facebook Live, if you don't mind, drop a comment in here and just let me know you can hear the audio and the video is okay. Every once in a while, especially with the kids with COVID right now, in the internet is a little sketchy. So if you can hear me, audio is good, let me know. But basically, what we're looking at here is before we dive into master packages, really need to have a foundational understanding of what the different types of services are and how they're scheduled. And then I'm going to break into several different ways to use packages inside Service Autopilot, and some that you may not be aware of. And actually, Service Autopilot, to an extent, was unaware that their system actually could do this things I'm going to be showing you before we actually created this groundbreaking methodology. So I'm gonna basically show you how to do this, but I'm going to break down some basics before we dive into the screen shares and open up as I always do. So Thomas Williams says, all good here. Jeremy Guevara, sounds good. Jeremy and Thomas, what's up? Jeremy Guevara, I want to give a big shout out. He's just crushing it right now with some of the stuff he's doing. So really proud of you, Jeremy. Love what you're doing, man. Keep us in the loop of what's going on there in your service business. And Thomas, love to hear what you're doing in your business around Service Autopilot and just some other things as well. So what we're going to be looking at here is packages and how to develop this in lawn care, fertilization, spring and fall cleanups, as well as holiday lights if you use it, because these things can be used in master packages and really in some groundbreaking ways of doing this that people just have not really conceptualized. And that's what we really do it here at SimpleGrowth. We don't talk about features and functions. We take, how do we take those features and functions and build methodology around that and basically teach or show you how to create an optimized workflow to minimize the clicks and the extra steps in the software. So as we're diving in this, I'm going to define the different types of services, and then I'm going to open the screen up and talk about how do we build these out. Anthony Harris, Jeremy Guevara is my hero. Well, Jeremy's crushing it. Anthony, you're not doing too bad yourself, your brother. So I want to say what's up as well to Anthony Harris. But basically, as you're looking at Service Autopilot or any software platform or any service industry, really, lawn care, home cleaning, there's several different types of services. The first one is going to be a one-time job. So particularly when you're scheduling a one-time job, you know the particular date, maybe not the time, but you know it's going to be done this particular day. The second type is a reoccurring job. So it's your weekly or biweekly mowing or cleaning, or maybe every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks, depending on a custom schedule. But that's a reoccurring, repetitive nature. Then we get into these things called waiting list jobs. So let's use the example of going into the springtime. A spring cleanup may have to be done between March 1st and April 1st. It doesn't matter what day you do it, but it needs to be done within a certain start and stop time frame. So that is going to be the definition of a waiting list job. And the benefits of a waiting list job is going to be able to go out and route jobs that are alike basically the same types of jobs, hopefully, or the same type of equipment in the same geographic area. So we're minimizing that non-billable drive time, creating efficiencies. Then in addition, if you take the example of a waiting list job, now the question said outside of fertilizing, but I'm going to hit on this because I'm sure there's some fertilization companies looking at this video. If we have different rounds of fertilizing, so we have a 5-step program, and the first round is April, the second one is May. We're going to set desired start and end times for those rounds of fertilizer, and if they go past that, they turn red. So if you're not into fertilizing based on the question, yes, there is several different ways to do this. So if you go to Service Autopilot or SimpleGrowth as a certified advisor, and you end up working with us in a SA setup where we set up about 20 to 25 services with price, budget, time, and cost before profit, or you do a 2-day or 1-day deep dive with us, part of the process we go in is to kind of understand your business and your service offerings. And one of the steps in our audit before we build SA out to your business and customize it for you is we need to understand, do you go out and do fertilizing packages? That's the first one for packages. But the next one is going to be bed maintenance. So do you go out and weed or maintain the landscape beds with post and pre-emergent in some of a timely fashion every month, every week, whatever that looks like in your market? And across the US and Canada, Australia, England, depending where we're working with you, it's going to be different. So we've got bed maintenance. Then we've got bush packages, or bed and bush, depending if you're in the deep south, or maybe in Phoenix, different areas in the Southwest. But we're talking about a reoccurring maintenance shrub pruning. So whether it's 2 visits, 3 visits, 5 visits, every other week. But we've got these packages where we set a desired start and end date, and we go out and schedule these jobs for efficiency. So that's another example. And then one of the final examples is that we look at things such as holiday lights. So very similar ideology is you've got the setup of the holiday lights. So between like October and maybe a week before Christmas, we want the holiday lights set up, and then we want the takedown maybe start in the first full week of January through the end of January. And we need a way to systematically handle that. Now, there's some complexities with holiday lights and some of these other services is in these packages, like, are we doing separate pricing based on 1 level, 2 level, 3 levels of the home based on a C9 roof line and the takedown, or how many strands of garland or wreaths, 24, 60-inch wreaths? All these can be built into a package with really great detail. So I'm going to kind of demystify how that all breaks down. Holiday lights I'll show you last because that's not applicable to everybody, but really packages has been a revolutionary thing that SimpleGrowth has really introduced to the ecosystem as a workflow and an estimating tool for consistency. So any comments or questions, drop below here in the live or recorded version. But in usual fashion, you're going to open up the screen, driving hard on a little Lipton hot tea here, just trying to keep the caffeine going. It's been a long day. Doing several deep dive calls where people have blocked out 20 to 25 hours one-on-one myself and the SimpleGrowth team to actually build out their service autopilot system and customize it to them. And things that we do is called SA setups, where we build out 20 to 25 services need with you virtually as well. So this is the time, if you're going to do it yourself, to do it. If you need some help, obviously we're here. And that's what we're doing this month and going on the next several months. Is it's time to set the foundation of your business up for success driving into the future of 2021. So without any delay, I'm going to pop out the screen here and kind of get into some examples on how we actually do this. So any comments or questions, drop below. I'm happy to answer these here. But basically, the first thing we need to look at is the SimpleGrowth blueprint. If you build this out yourself, obviously this is where we're going. As a little teaser here, SimpleGrowth is launching in probably the next few days or within the next week, the Service Autopilot Setup Challenge. Very, very minimal price. We were going to give it away, but you know what? There's no value unless you pay a minimal price to something. So it's going to be a minimal price for the Service Autopilot Setup Challenge brought to you by SimpleGrowth. But these are the things we're going to be driving in. There's going to be accountability, a private Facebook group, videos, and each day you're going to have an assignment with a video built by myself or the SimpleGrowth team, and you're going to go out and execute and build all these things. And this is going to be part of the challenge if you do master packages. So not part of the question particularly, but I think to do the question justice around packages, we need to address fertilization. And then I'm going to drive into all the different things you can do with packages. So as always, we want to blueprint before we implement. So we can't build the house without a blueprint. We can't build SA services without a blueprint, or no matter the software. You need a blueprint before we implement in the software. So things we're looking at here is the services fertilization. The custom field of the job variable is turf square footage. And we're going to set a minimum price. So in this fictitious example, I'm looking at a $60 minimum price, and that covers up to 5,000 square feet. And I'm saying it's taking us 15 minutes for that technician to treat 5,000 square feet. And my revenue goal here is $65 per hour, and it's costing me break even overhead $36. That's labor burden, and all my expenses as far as rent, equipment, everything loaded. So in Service Autopilot, you want to make sure you have your cost per 1,000 square foot or whatever that variable is built out on the product level. So chemical tracking doesn't want your product cost. It just wants the chemical information. So the job costing feature per 1,000 square feet needs to be attacked here. So it's $1.63. So we've built out our minimum price, and with the max amount of time, budget time is 15 minutes here. And then every 1,000 over the 5,000 is $5.50 per 1,000. Basically 1 minute per 1,000 or 0.02, and a cost of $2.23. So that's how we would handle our fertilization. And fertilization would be done in your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. What I'm going to recommend as best practice here is don't call this fertilization. I would call this application number 1 or pre-emergent app 1, whatever you call that. And I would list each service separately. The reason being is the job costing and the expense is going to be different for each round. Now, the production may be the same or it may not be. Maybe you're using hose and reel, and then you're using a different application for as a broadcast or right on for other applications. But each round should have the particular budgeted time and the cost associated with the overhead and the materials. And we're going to break that down separately. So we've got that set up for each round of fertilization. So if you have 5 different applications, we're going to build out all 5 different rounds. And then we're going to take each particular service, creates a round in the package job. So I'm going to show you that on the fertilizing in a little bit later. But that's the foundational piece. Now, to really get at the question at hand here, if I'm not doing fertilizing, how do I tackle that? So an example would be spring cleanup. So traditionally, most people say, okay, that's going to be based on here, spring cleanup square footage or cleanup square footage, because your cleanup area for the spring and fall cleanup are going to be the same. That's going to be the same. So we want to minimize those custom fields or job variables for data input. But if your spring cleanup's including the turf area and the lawn area, it's not going to be the same as turf square footage. It's really a different area. We want a different variable that we're looking at. So let's just say we're doing spring cleanup. So maybe from 1 to 10,000 square feet is $350, and I'm charging $50 per man hour, and it's costing me 36. And that is J25. So I'm updating our formula here so this is accurate. So basically, up to 10,000 square feet is $350, and it's 5.38 man hours. And every 1,000 over my 10,000, I'm going to say equals this divided by 10, because that's 10 parts of 1,000, 0.54 man hours. That's one person. We're always judging this on one person doing the job, even if we have a 2 or 3 person crew. And I'm going to multiply that out times my hourly rate of 50. So it's $26.92 per 1,000. It's costing me $19.38 break even. So this is how we would do an exact price. But let's be honest, folks. Spring and fall cleanups are not an exact science. We really usually want to say we're going to have a base price of $350, and it's X amount of dollars, say $50 per man hour thereafter. That covers us to not lose our shirt, because we don't know what we're getting into. But the consumer really doesn't want $1,000 spring or fall cleanup bill. So how can we overcome that and utilize master packages? Well, one of the suggestions I would say is let's create a minimum and maximum price. So let's take the delta of the minimum and the maximum. So we're covered as a contractor, but the consumer now is feeling comfortable, and we can go out and sell these jobs over the phone without having to do on-site estimates with some disclaimers. So this doesn't necessarily apply to the question at hand, but this is how I would set it up if I wasn't using packages. Now you might say, well, Mike, what does packages have to do with spring and fall cleanup? Well, this is one of the expert ways that SimpleGrowth has figured out how to use Service Autopilot to do things Service Autopilot wasn't intended to do. So let's say we have a max price. So we're going to do a minimum and maximum. I've kind of flipped these upside down, but our minimum price and our maximum price. So our max price is $350. So that's the highest it would be. So up to 5,000 square feet. I'm going to say on a normal spring cleanup, it's going to take us 7 hours. And based on $50 an hour, that's $350. And every 1,000 over 5,000 is an additional $50 based on 1 hour. So our maximum price is $350 based up to 5,000. But if I had 6,000 square feet, our max price would be the $350 plus the $50, so it'd be $400. So it incrementally moves up as we go with larger size properties. Now we can do difficulty levels of spring cleanup level 1, 2, 3 as well, and the square footage could shrink, but we keep our minimum price at maximum minimum price at $350. So in a very basic example, we've got our max price at $350 covering 5,000. And our minimum price is $250 for 5 hours. So we've got a 2 hour swing between 5 and 7 hours. But then again, every hour, or basically 1,000 square feet over that, is an additional $50. So this is how we can set up two separate services basically. But I'm going to show you how to use a package to actually present the price in a high-low price range. And then the final one that we're going into is going to be holiday lights. So if we have C9 roofline lights, we can go in and say, okay, every 1 square foot is, let's just say, $6 per thousand or per square foot. And we're charging, let's say, the $50 an hour, and it's costing us $36. And maybe the cost per foot fictitiously is $1.50. I'm going to change this formula here so this is accurate. And every square foot, let's say, takes us a minute. So equals 0.02. So a minute divided by 1 minute as an hour is 0.02. So basically, it takes us a minute per foot. We're charging $6, and labor and materials is costing us $2.22. And it's costing us $1.50 per foot. So as you're looking at this, though, with holiday lights, if you're using LEDs, C9s, traditionally, on average, those materials are really going to last at least 3 years. So we're going to figure our worst case scenario, and I'd go in and say equals $1.50 divided by 3 years. So we're amortizing or spreading that cost across 3 years. So really, it's 50 cents per square foot if you think the lifetime, if you're leasing them out, is over that price. So then we would say, okay, every 1 square foot over the first square foot is $6, 0.02 hours, and it is costing us $1.22. So once again, it depends if you're selling or leasing them, but if you're leasing them out and you want to spread that cost over 3 years, the lifetime of the bulb, that's going to be applicable. So that's how we would do that. Now we would go into maybe C9 roofline, first level, second level, third level. So we'd have different prices and production rates. Then we would go in, and then in the most basic example, the C9 takedown, we would want to go in and say, okay, every 1 to 1 square foot, there's no price here because we're going to charge it up front here in the $6 per square foot, but maybe it is a half a minute. These are not actual numbers here, folks, but this is the idea. That's the time, and this is our $50 an hour and 36 break even. And is K80? So it's costing us 30 cents. So we're basically going to be able to create a package of installation and route that out. And we've got all our overhead and the cost of materials. And then we've got a budgeted time of a half a minute per foot and a cost of 30 cents on a takedown. So this is a great way to go in and do your fertilization. We're going to touch on bed and bush here later, but we're going to actually talk about the estimate. We're going to talk how to schedule those separate bed and bush jobs. We've got spring and fall cleanups, minimum and maximum. And you've got your fertilization. So those are the main things you're going to be looking at here. So now that we broke these out, we want to build the services out. And you've seen some of these videos. We're just taking this top line and bottom line and building this in SA. So as you go in, I'll use a basic example here, but then I'm going to kind of skip to the package jobs and how we utilize these. But we're going in to services and building out the services. So one of the biggest things that we find, especially minimum and maximum pricing, I'll highlight on that one because that seems to be the biggest question. How do we do that? And that's a really good one going into spring here. So spring cleanup, minimum price. So another big thing here too is if you're running a lawn care company, landscape company, snow removal company, class and account. Classes are really great because it'll allow you to basically segment your business from lawn care or landscape maintenance, installation and snow removal, or pest control. But those are separate divisions and they have different overhead structures. So by using a class, if you sync to QuickBooks, it'll allow you to have a snapshot of each division. And then outside of the class, have a budgeting and projection for taxes and things like that. So if you haven't explored classes, talk to your accountant. It's a good time starting out being a year to look at that. But the main idea is you got your service, you got your code per unit, tax and non-taxed, invoice description, maintenance, and then the estimate description. Obviously, I'm pasting this in for time's sake. But in the rate matrix here, we're going quantity rate times visits. I probably already have the square footage in here, or this custom field. You do need to set this up, but I'm going to say a spring cleanup because that's the spring cleanup square footage. And I'm going to go from 1 to 5. Let's see here. There's our max price. Here's our minimum price. 1 to 5,000 is $250. And that is going to give me, so you can see these top 5 lines are lining right out, 5 and 188.15 break even. 5 hours, 8.15 every 1,000 over 5,000 is, I was charging $50 an hour, 1 hour, and I was breaking even at 36. Let's just double check I did that by memory. And that is in fact correct. So the next step here is we've got our minimum price. We need to go back up to our max price. So we've set a minimum here. I'm going to save and new. And I'm going to do our max price. So this is how we utilize a package for a minimum, maximum, high-low range pricing. Something that really was invented by SimpleGrowth. Trying to make the system work for service businesses the way we need it. And take a look here. So our spring cleanup, both are 5,000, but we've got the minimum and the maximum. So based on 5,000, the highest is going to be 7 hours at $350. Let's see what that break even is. $20, $260.15. And every 1,000 over the base price of 5,000 for the maximum is an additional $50, 1 hour, and $36 break even. And that's all coming off the SimpleGrowth blueprint here. Once again, keep your eyes out. We're going to have the service autopilot setup challenge by SimpleGrowth, private Facebook group, accountability, videos. It's going to be pretty sick. I'm excited to show you what that looks like. So that's how we're going to break this out. And these are some of the things we're going to cover in the challenge. How to use the system for your actual daily workflow. We're going to save that as well. So now that we have that set up, we need to go out and build out a package that represents that. So how do we define a package? So a package has a start and end time that we want to do it. And it's going to have some other data in here. So we're going to go in and go into master package. And master packages. And I'm going to add a package. So I'm going to call it spring cleanup high-low. So this is one way that packages were not meant to utilize, but they work really well, and it streamlines the process. So I'm going to say the renewal date is going to be 2022, January 1st, because that's one of the main things you need because it renews each year. And I'm going to put cleanup, minimum price, out of service, spring cleanup, max price. And then I've got my minimum price, the max price. So a package, as you can kind of see, is built of several services incorporated in with a start and end date. So if your spring cleanup needs to be done before, or basically between March 1st and April 1st, you would set those dates. Minimum days in between would not matter, but if you're doing fertilization, you want minimum days between fertilization applications or minimum days between post or pre-emergent, spraying on bed packages or shrubs. Maybe you want a 30-day period before you're in there trimming them again. So it's built in there to protect you if you put minimum days. Default hours and rate, we do not want to fill that in. That's going to be taken care of on the service level if you're doing it correctly, in my opinion. Okay, so that's how we would do that. We're going to save these changes. So many examples how to do this, but now really the secret is when we go in, we're going to do our job template, build this out. So I'm going to add a template here. And we'd go in and do both. We tie it into a estimate document, whatever that looks like for you guys. So that's going to connect the estimate email, the estimate document, the acceptance email. And I'm going to go set a service. I go to package. And there we go. So we have it right here. So that's really what it looks like. So when you actually go out and estimate it, and you set up that custom field, let's say you've got 6,000 square feet, that would calculate a high and low price based on 6 to 8 hours and the cost before profit. So obviously you'd want to do that on a particular customer, but that's the idea. And then these jobs can be scheduled to the waiting list, and the waiting list is going to give you the desired start and desired end date. If it goes out, it's going to turn red. So multiple ways to do packages, but packages are going to be best utilized for fertilization, bed maintenance, shrub pruning, holiday lights, and kind of work in the system, creating a high-low price range as well. So comments or questions, drop below. Callahan's Corner. You ask the questions. We answer them live right here on Facebook. And as a special sneak peek, I am going to, if I can pull it up here, I'm going to pull up a preview of what the SimpleGrowth challenge looks like for setting up service autopilot. They're going to be launching here in the next probably 5 to 7 days. But this is going to be instrumental, folks. This is something that I don't think anybody has ever seen in this ecosystem, and it's going to be pretty cool. So if you're watching live or recorded, check this out. Let me pull this up. All right. Well, a little nervous to show this right now, but if you're watching live, you're getting a sneak peek of the Service Autopilot Setup Challenge by SimpleGrowth. And this is going to be pretty instrumental, folks. So we're going into service or in a private Facebook group inside Facebook, and we built out learning units. And check it out what happens here as we dive into this. So not totally complete here, but what you're going to see is all the learning units of all the things that are going to be released each day for you to learn about and then set up with accountability. So pretty crazy what we've built out here. But there is private videos here. So this one here is challenge unit number 1, video challenge 1 of 1. Welcome to the challenge. When you're done, post welcome done. And here's a link to the video. Commercial versus residential priorities. Gear icon. Lead acquisition via office and website. Billing details. Website lead capture and lead sources. So we're going to go in and demystify Service Autopilot in a private group with positivity where you can ask your questions and not worry about negativity. And for a small fee, you can join this. And after that small fee, we're going to allow you to apply the fee that you paid to join the challenge. Because if you don't pay for it, you're not going to respect it. But you can take what you pay and apply that to a SimpleGrowth product offering. But the idea here is that this is going to be revolutionary. There is nothing around like it. So we've created a private learning engagement inside a private Facebook group where you can go in and each one of these challenges breaks out each day, and we're going to hold you accountable with support of a public group. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know what you think about it. But it's going to be the Service Autopilot Setup Challenge by SimpleGrowth in a private Facebook group brought to you by SimpleGrowth. Service Autopilot Setup Challenge by SimpleGrowth. And we're going to have units that are released inside the private group that give you the how-to and why. And then we're going to have public accountability and the ability for people to act in a mastermind fashion. Anthony Harris wants to know, would property inspections work in packages? Depending how you're scheduling them, yeah, probably would, Anthony. If you're doing like a once a month, but it needs to be done in the last 2 weeks of the month, yeah, that would probably work. Depending on the manager, I would probably do something more like our repetitive task automations where it's assigned to the person on a particular day for accountability. But with some creativity, I think a package would work as well. Depends on the individual and the level of accountability you want to set up. So good question, Anthony. So we'll see you again tomorrow on Callahan's Corner where you ask the questions. We answer them live right here on Facebook. And hold tight the next few days here, probably the beginning of next week, we're going to announce the sign up for the first round of the Service Autopilot Setup Challenge by SimpleGrowth. You can dive in and learn in this private community how to set up Service Autopilot. Not features and functions, folks, but we're talking optimized workflow by experts that have scaled 7-figure plus businesses using Service Autopilot for the 8 or 9 years plus. We're going to show you how it's done, demystify the system, and cut out 3 to 5 years worth of learning curve. So I'm looking forward to presenting this to you folks in the next week or so. But if you're interested, drop me a message or, make a comment here. Interested in the Service Autopilot Setup Challenge by SimpleGrowth, and I'll make sure you get an invite to the private webinar we're going to be doing to our VIPs that watch the Facebook Lives and our clients to actually be part of the first Service Autopilot Setup Challenge by SimpleGrowth in this private Facebook group. Folks, this is going to be groundbreaking. It is something that has never been done. I am really, really excited to bring it to you here coming up shortly. So we'll see you again. Make a note. Hey, send me an invite for the setup challenge. And if you have any comments or questions, how to use Service Autopilot, or comments or questions, how to utilize systems and processes in your business, let me know. We answer them every day here on Callahan's Corner. So we'll see you again tomorrow. Callahan's Corner, you ask questions, we answer them live right here on Facebook.